Hi Virgo, it's Sloan Rhodes here with your Life Purpose, Money, and Career reading for January 2020. Happy New Year to everybody. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and I haven't done these Life Purpose readings in a long time, but I thought it would be a fun way to kick off 2020, so I'm offering this to everybody, and I hope that you enjoy it. So today I'm drawing one card as the overarching theme for January 2020 from Money and the Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. 3 cards from the Life Purpose deck by Doreen Virtue, and 1 card around your money, quick peek at your money from the Money Tarot by Eugene Vinitsky. So Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, let's go ahead and get started. It's the overarching theme, overarching message for Virgo, January 2020. Hope everyone had a good holiday, a festive season. The physical me is materialized spirit. Number 41. I'll show you the card. And under the deck, I give my attention to the positive aspects. Number 15. I feel like with this under the deck, there has been a focus for Virgo around, in the recent kind of past, in the last few months even, of recognizing how important it is to look at your money in a way that feels less dire and that feels more positive, that feels more hopeful, let's say. It's under the deck, so it's not the focus of this particular reading, but it is there, and I just want to talk about it because it's kind of flowing. There's like the wind blowing through, which makes me kind of feel like there's been something that's been occurring for a little bit of a time here. Blowing the cobwebs of negativity or feelings of lack and scarcity out and bringing in something more positive so you can give your attention to it. It may just be a feeling, right, and understanding that's come through for you recently. And in the present moment, in today, 2020, January, the physical me is materialized spirit. So there's change. You know, we have this here, which I just talked about, a new kind of energy blowing through. And then 41 equals 5 when I add them together. And then we have the physical me is materialized spirit. And let me just read the card. Some say that you should not want money at all because the desire for money is materialistic and not spiritual. But we want you to remember that you are here in this very physical world where spirit has materialized. You cannot separate yourself from the aspect of yourself that is spiritual. Blah, 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 blah. It's very wordy, this deck. So what I kind of feel for this Virgo is, you know, you're an earth sign. And you're very practical in general. Virgos are very practical, earthy signs. You're not afraid of getting your hands dirty. You like to get in there. You like to know what's going on. And I feel like for you, for the Virgo people, Sun, Moon, and Rising, with this card, the focus of January 2020, the physical me is materialized spirit. To understand that even though you are an earth sign, you're very grounded, very connected to the earthly plane. You are spirit, right? You are first and foremost, spirit, having the physical experience now. And when you know this, it becomes easier to navigate the physical because you don't become so heavy and overly attached to what you have or don't have. This is this fresh energy blowing in, you know. I can give my attention to the positive aspects. When you're not so identified with, do I have that coin, but you see it more as an energy, because you're spirit first, you're an energetic being first and foremost, having the physical experience, you can begin to flow a bit more easily and not become so locked down, right? The physical me is materialized spirit. You're spirit first, Virgo, even though you're an earth sign. But when you understand that, again, I'm going to repeat, it allows you to navigate the physical more easily because you don't become so overly identified with having or not having. It doesn't matter as much, which when it doesn't matter, when you don't need it as much, as you know, when you release need, you let go of things, that's when things tend to come in. So it's very positive for Virgos there. Okay, and there's number 41. There's this change afoot here around it. There's an opportunity for change in January, which is always fun. Okay, so let's look at the life purpose cards for Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising. Past, present, future. January 2020. Virgo. You are more than what you have or don't have here when you understand that you're spirit first. Okay, so we have environmentalist. You're an earth angel who was born to nurture, to protect, nurture, and teach about nature and the animals. This is in the recent past. In the present position, we have children. Your life purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. In the near future, we have time to decide. Make a decision based on your heart's true desires. And then we have speaker under the deck. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. Well, it may be that you are very comfortable. You're ruled by Mercury, Virgo, which means you're very communicative. You communicate very well. You're very clear usually in your communication style. So that is under the deck. It may be that you've been speaking more recently, or you have recently decided, because under the deck in 2019 you were speaking more or giving more speeches or beginning to understand your power as a speaker. It may even be that you were actually listening or going to see speakers in order to gain a greater sense of what you want to do here, because we have this idea of time to decide by the end of January into February. So in the recent past we have environmentalist. You're an earth angel who was born to protect, nurture, and teach about nature and the animals. It may not be that you actually were involved in environmental issues, but it may be that you have been drawing your attention more to it, or you're becoming more conscious of the environment and the earth, planet Earth, Mother Gaia. You are an earth sign, very connected to the planet. It may be that there is a child, one of your children, who is part of this movement of drawing attention towards climate change, this kind of thing, and that has inspired you, possibly. We have children as the center here, and this looks like a young girl. It may just be that in the recent past you have been thinking a lot about how you used to be as a child, or longing in the recent past for those more free days when you would run free, possibly, through the fields. And literally, for some of you, it is a direct message that you are this earth angel, right? You are here. Part of what makes you feel purposeful is being connected to the planet, being connected to nature and the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, understanding the way that plants and animals and humans all work together symbiotically upon the planet Earth, and how you can work with this knowledge individually, and then maybe perhaps even bring it out towards others. Maybe you're a scientist or something like that here. Okay, and so at the present moment we have children. The car is very loud. Your life purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. So in the present moment, it may just be that you feel inundated with children, or that you feel that you are leading children, or that you are inspired by children. Heavy emphasis on maybe even having a child. It may be that you are pregnant, or you've recently had a child, and suddenly your whole world is opening up, right? You're feeling very connected to all the children of the earth. It's not uncommon when you have a child to suddenly feel a very deep connection to all parents, all children, this kind of thing, and how you can protect and honor children. It may be that you are teaching, you're an actual teacher working with children, or working with children in some way. But there is something that's changing here. We have 41, the physical me is materialized spirit, and we have time to decide. Make a decision based on your heart's desires. And she seems to be pointing right here. I find this card always a little bit stressful, because there's this idea that there's you're going to miss out if you don't do something in the right time. But from my perspective, if if something is meant for you upon the planet Earth as part of your experience here, you cannot miss it. It will always come back around, perhaps in a different form, but you won't ever miss it. You won't ever miss out. So don't worry about that. But you are being encouraged as we go into late January, early February, to begin to recognize where you can amplify this energy around children, perhaps, or the way you were as a child, your dreams from when you were a child even, and how towards the end of January, early February, you can begin to feel the energy that's around you and decide how best to use it. You know, it's never, again, from my perspective, it's never that you're going to miss out on something, but there are, let's call it, escalators that go by, and you can either leap on or not. And so there's like an escalator coming by here towards late January, early February, where you can kind of leap on an escalator and it will take you along a certain path here, having to do with children in some way, or your past as it relates to you as a child. Maybe you want to write children's books. Maybe you want to have a child. This kind of thing. A lot of sort of energy around children here. Again, even with the environmentalist card, she's very, very young. So it may be something in your past. Let's not think so much about children for a second. It may be that there's something from the past, something from perhaps your childhood, or even when you were a teen, that you wanted to explore more. And here it is. You've been thinking about it. It's been coming up again, and you're being welcomed to make a decision on how you can play with it. Let's say utilize that idea or that inspiration and bring it forth as we move into February, March, etc., into 2020. So the time to decide isn't necessarily a card that I would say should cause you any fear or anxiety. It's more that you're being encouraged to open up and say, do I want to jump on this escalator, you know? And it may, again, have something to do with your childhood or children or this kind of thing. It's a general reading, so it's being a little bit vague here, so I'm just going to try and read it from different aspects. All right, I'm not going to go on too long. I'm trying to keep all of these readings around 15 minutes at the longest, so I can get through all 12 signs. So I'm going to go to the money reading here. I would encourage you to watch your rising sign in particular, your moon sign if you're also drawn to it, if you know it. And see how that relates to this reading. It may be a bit more specific for you. And if you don't know your rising and moon signs, you can find out for free at astrotheme.com if you know your... well, they like it if you know your birth, the moment that you were born, the time of your birth, but I don't think you need to have it, but it's helpful if you do. Okay, so around your money, Virgo. I will say, too, for some of you, it may be that as a parent, you are wanting to set a good example for your children currently. It may be that your children are getting older, or maybe they've flown the nest, and you are wanting to show them how to be adults, you know, how to adult kind of energy. And it may be that there's a Leo individual who's prominent in this, whether it be a Leo child or a Leo partner or a Leo coworker. All right, so Virgo and money. What are the messages for Virgo around their money? January 2020. Ace of Swords in reverse. Well, you know, we have this idea of time to decide, and with the Ace of Swords in reverse around your money too, there is a lack of action, a lack of initiative being taken here. So you might want to consider that, you know, are you watching your money? Are you being careful about where you're going to place it or spend it, or even how you earn it, how you receive it? Because with the Ace of Swords in reverse, it does look like there is a certain degree of inertia here. It could also be with the Ace of Swords in reverse that you are having to go back and correct something that was an error on one of your forms, a bank error, this kind of thing. So check on your money. I said the same thing for Leo. They had the King of Swords in reverse. Check on your money every day. Check your accounts every day. I do this anyway, just as a way of honoring money, just like I would check on my children or a lover, So do this for yourself as a way of honoring money, and just, also just double check and make sure everything's adding up and things aren't being, errors aren't being made, or that you haven't made some kind of error. But with the Ace of Swords in reverse, it is kind of a little bit of a call to pay attention and to take the initiative and make, kind of make a decision about how you want to be with your money here. We have, I give my attention to the positive aspects. Again, this idea of something blowing through that allows you to look at things differently. We have 41, this idea of change. So by February, you are being encouraged to have done something around this, either looked at your money or done something with it, or done something with this idea of something from the past or your children. Do you want to get on that escalator? Or are you going to wait until the next time? It's okay. There's no right or wrong in terms of your spiritual growth here, in terms of your sense of purpose in the world. But around your money with the Ace of Swords in reverse, double check things and as I say, as I kind of feel it, take the initiative to double check things. Don't rely on your accountant or rely on the bank to make sure that they're, to be the watchdog. Make sure that you are being the watchdog over your money as a form of self-care and self-honoring and honoring of the energy of money. So I hope you find that helpful, Virgo. I wish you much love and a very happy new year. And I will see you on the next video, or if you want to go to the podcast, there's links below. You can listen to it at the audio podcast, this reading, or if you want a session with me, you can go to my website, sloanrhodes.com. Much love.